again, we crown you as one of the legendary R&B contributors.
Thank you.
You know, do you you think about misses, like saying like, man, I wish I had done this, or do you have any regrets in your career across from a creative standpoint?
Um, I wish I could have did a little bit more, but I mean, when you on a label with Usher,
Yeah.
TLC, Pink,
Yeah.
Toni Braxton,
Yeah.
OutKast. I mean, you can only come out in every couple of years because I mean,
Yeah.
like these are their top artists,
Right.
and there's only so many marketing dollars that they
Absolutely.
have, and so you got to strategically make sure that you position yourself to come out when it's your time. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to come out with any of those other artists because you're gonna get lost.
Oh, can we talk? Can we talk? R&B.
What's up? What's up? It's your boy Ian Vaughn, the R&B ambassador. Listen, I apologize for the interruption, but I need you guys to help us continue to grow this channel. We're doing such a fantastic job growing, bringing you amazing content from some of our favorite R&B artists and contributors. I need you to do this one little thing: like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe is key. Also, hit the notification bell. This will help us to continue to bring more and more fantastic artists to the platform. So with that said, this is a continuing conversation. Can we talk R&B? Now back to the show. What's up? What's up? It's your boy Ian Vaughn, the R&B ambassador, and welcome to another episode of the Can We Talk R&B podcast. I have a bona fide legend. Argue with your mama. I have one of the coldest R&B artists, songwriter, producer, contributors to the game. And y'all, I'm telling you right now, I am over the moon to have one of my greatest inspirations in R&B in the building, Mr. Donell Jones. What's up,
What's up, my brother? Thank you,
I'm
man.
good.
Thank you.
I just got to give you another
Man, for real, man.
'cause
Appreciate that, man.
much
That
love right
was
now.
awesome right there. I
Come
like
on.
that. I like that.
Come on, man. So first things first, the name of the show is Can We Talk R&B? So can we talk R&B?
Man, let's do it. Let's do it.
So I know, a lot of interviews you may do, people want to go back all the way back to the beginning. So we can touch on, I guess, your origin story essentially, but this is a special one because, my whole idea of this show is to highlight R&B artists, R&B legends, contributors like yourself.
That's right.
And, we just want to give flowers and just, appreciate what you've done. And what you've done, ain't too many guys can say they've done in terms of catalog, in terms of
Appreciate
hits,
that. Thank you.
in terms of cultural impact. So you can take us back. You're from Chicago. What made you fall in love with R&B in the first place?
My family, man, just being around my family. Grandmama, mama, dad, played countless R&B records in the crib.
Yeah.
What every family do.
Yeah.
On the weekend, play the music loud while we cleaning up, the house, and
Yeah.
and my pops sang, my mom sang. I come from a singing family, so
Okay.
it was just something in my genes.
Did you grow up like in church? Like where'd you get them chops from? Obviously, family's singers, but
You know what? Even though my father and them was gospel singers and stuff, I really never sang in the church.
okay.
I didn't have any aspirations to sing in the church. They made me go to church all the time
Of
anyways.
course.
I was like, I was rebellious. I didn't want to sing in the church. But I fell in love with music at a very young age, man. Like when I heard Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, and when I got to high school, is when it really like things started to change.
So take me on that. Like, how'd you get from obviously just a singing family, just singing, enjoying to sing, to saying I want to make a living out of doing this?
Again, man, when I was in high school, I used to sing Bobby Brown in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
And the girls liked it.
Of course.
So I was like, man, and I was a little skinny guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was like a $105 or something like that in high
Yeah.
school. So when I started getting attention, I was like, man, I kind of like this. So that's what made me really want to, just start taking it seriously.
Yeah.
It wasn't really about the money or the fame. I just liked the attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what did it for me.
But you became this prolific songwriter, this prolific, producer and singer. So from high school, like at some point you had to say, man, what made you write a song? Like what made you get to that?
Well, my mother bought me a keyboard when I was like 11 years old.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to play. I started with one finger. Then eventually I got the two fingers, and
Yeah.
and it just progressed
Yeah.
over time. And my uncle was a songwriter.
Okay.
And so again, it was something that I watched other people do.
Yeah.
And I was interested in it, and I just fell in love with it completely. You know, I didn't really hang out outside too much, not in my younger years, but
Yeah.
I was just in love with it so much, where that, you know, it kept me interested, and I stayed in it.
I think I read somewhere, and this is me going back in my memory bank, that you started out in a singing group.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Tell me about
that. I met these guys, man. I was working at McDonald's, and the manager was like, "Yo, man," he heard me singing while I'm flipping my burgers. And
Yeah.
he was like, "Man, you know what? You should try out for my group."
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I try out.
Oh, so the manager, he was in the group. He was in the group.
Yeah, he had a group. So he was like, "Man, you should try out for my group." You know what I'm saying? We're looking for another member. I was like, all right, you know, I tried. So I went, I tried out. They was like, "Yo, man, we want you in the group."
Yeah.
And that's how I really, you know, how the group thing started.
What was the name of it?
Porsche.
Porsche.
Yeah,
okay.
Porsche. Yeah.
So I was in the group as well. And around the time when I guess got my quote unquote professional start in music, the My Heart album is out.
Okay.
And at the beginning of certain songs, I would hear Untouchables.
Oh yeah.
So our group was called The Untouchables.
Oh wow, that's
real,
dope.
Real
That's
spill.
dope.
Real
dope.
spill.
That's dope.
And it was like, you know, we were a 4-man group. And obviously, you know, we ended up breaking up. It was a bit 3 of us. We had a decent little run at it, but
Right.
ultimately we didn't make it as a group. But that just shows you like these little imprints,
Man.
that, you know, that you've footprints rather that you've you know, let out throughout the year. So I want to go to coming from this group to where you became a professional at this thing, to get to the point where you started with My Heart.
Okay. Me and the group, we had a showcase in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Called the BRE, the Black Radio Exclusive Convention, which we knew everybody was going to be at.
Yeah.
So we had a showcase, but nobody came to our showcases because nobody knew
They
who
know who you were. Yeah.
So we decided that, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to go outside this hotel and sing for anybody who want to hear us or walk out. We're just going to bum rush them and start singing.
Yeah.
So we sang for a couple of people, and Eddie F happened to walk out, Heavy D's DJ.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yo, go ahead. Y'all want to sing? Sing." And we sang for him. He was like, "Yo, all right, don't sing for nobody else.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to sign y'all." We was like, "Yeah, whatever. You know, we heard that before." So when he left, somebody else came up. We started singing. He came right back over like, "Nah,
Don't sing for
don't sing for nobody else. I'm signing y'all."
Yeah.
And about like 2-3 months later, he sent us plane tickets to from Chicago to come to Jersey.
So he signed the group.
He signed a group.
Come on, I got it.
Yeah,
We got to know
He
this.
signed
Like,
the
so
group.
I didn't know. I thought you left the group before y'all got signed.
No, we actually had the group. We have a song on his Untouchables album. I think it's called "Let's Get It On."
Okay.
And we got a song on there called "I Can Make You Feel Real Good."
Gotcha.
And that was the group.
Gotcha.
And then, you know, some things happened.
Didn't work out.
It didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? Still love my brother still today.
Sure.
You know, things go the way they supposed to go. I guess,
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So now you got to deal with Eddie F. Obviously, and I remember even on the My Heart album hearing Eddie F. All, you know, hit it drops.
Yeah.
So you got the deal. How did you become? It didn't work out in the group, but so your solo album or your solo career started with him from there.
This is what actually happened. So I was still with the group.
Mm-hmm.
He sent everybody back home, and he was like, he knew I was a songwriter. So he was like, "Yo, Donell, I need you to come back. I'm working with this new artist called Usher. I want you to come and write a song for him."
Yeah.
So I wrote the song called "You Took My Heart" with him. And then Puff had heard that record. He was like, "Yo, I need you to come and write a song for me because I like your style."
Yeah.
So that's when I wrote "Think of You" with me, Faith Evans, and Chucky and all those guys.
Yeah.
So after I did that, Eddie was like, "Yo, well, I did a song called "In the Hood."
Yep.
And I did I think it was Yearning.
Okay.
And Eddie was like, "Yo, go back home, get the guys to record the records, and then come back. I'm gonna get y'all the deal."
Yeah.
So I went home. The guys wasn't really interested in doing the records.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back. He was like, "Oh, well, fuck it, I'm gonna get you a deal."
You gonna do it?
Yeah, excuse my French, but
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"I'm gonna get you a deal." You know what I'm saying? They ain't want to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, sometimes in groups there's a little bit of jealousy because, you know, if somebody sent for you and you have another skill,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, which is my songwriting.
Yeah.
So they was a little mad at that, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't want to participate in the records that I had wrote. So
Gotcha.
he was like, all right, forget it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get you a deal.
All things in God's timing, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you go, okay, and you brush over In the Hood. Like I'm like, In the Hood was a bop. You know what I'm saying? I remember when that single first dropped. I mean, I guess this 96, 95, 96, something like that. And I remember it being a fresh sound. It was, you know, it felt street, but it was R&B, and it had this, you know, it didn't feel like what everybody else, all the other male solo artists were doing.
Right.
And then you came with, correct me if I'm wrong, I think In the Hood was the first single. The second single was I Don't Want to Bore, the
Knocks Me Off My
Stevie
Feet.
Wonder. I'm sorry, Knocks Me Off My Feet, Stevie Wonder record.
Yep.
So this is when you're starting to feel like,
Oh man, I mean, I'm on cloud 9
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing my records. Well, the first record I heard on the radio was the Usher stuff.
Yeah.
But now I hear myself on the radio. I'm like a rocket right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm on cloud 9 because I mean, it just feels good to know that I came from Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really think I could make it, but damn, this thing is really happening right now. You know, so it felt amazing.
That's crazy to me. And I'm looking at you, I'm listening to you, and obviously as a fan of your career from the very beginning.
Appreciate it.
I looked at that, you know, aspiring to do some of the things that you've done. And I look back like, bro, like I'm listening to you right now. You're just like, yeah, I just did it. I'm like, man, you made some epic records, bro.
You know what? I was put around some great people.
Sure.
You know, Eddie F. Put me around Dave Hall.
Yeah.
Kenny Carnegie.
Yes.
Kenny Smooth. Like I was, and Puff.
Yeah.
You know, I was around so many people, and the music scene in New York was so big at the time that and I knew how to play but I didn't know how to produce.
Yeah.
And being around those guys taught me how to produce. And Kenny Green, one of the greatest songwriters I've ever heard.
Sure.
Just being in that atmosphere and watching and seeing like all of these great songs and all this great music happen, it just made me better.
Yeah. Do you think, I guess, you know, at that time, this is a time where male solo R&B is at an all-time high.
Oh, for sure.
You got guys like Joe, you had John B, you had, you know, Brian McKnight, you had Kells. So many. Maxwell.
D'Angelo.
Yes, the list just goes on of all these epic contributors to R&B culture. And you were right there in the mix of it, like not being, you know, you're just in the race. You know what I'm saying? Did you ever look at it as competition, or did you look at it as just?
Well, it's only one number one spot, so you're competing against everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But honestly, I really felt like my only competition was myself, you know, because I mean, I had my own sound.
Yeah.
And the thing about the 90s is everybody had their own sound.
Yes.
Nobody really sounded alike.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing something different.
That's
and
right.
it was really up to the fans.
Yeah.
To choose who
What
they
they
like
liked.
and what they like, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that very thoroughly. So from Knocks Me Off My Feet, from My Heart, Knocks Me Off My Feet single. Back then, I remember, you know, artists would drop an album. You had 2 or 3 years in between time because you got singles that's lasting however many months, 6 months, a year. You're riding it as long as you can before you drop the next album.
Right.
Okay. So from 96 to 99. All right. 99, I'm 19 years old. See, you got to understand, these are like my prime adolescent years, right? So when Where I Want to Be comes, you lost your mind on that album. Like that's like one of the best. That's literally, think about it. So on here, we're actually putting together right now a top 100 R&B albums list.
Wow.
Okay. And I don't know exactly where I want to be yet, but it's in the top 20, the top 15.
Okay.
It's up there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't talking about the bottom half. I'm talking about the top half. So that's how impactful. I mean, it's a no skip album. It's literally a no skip album. So I want to talk about the creation of that album, what made you, you know, what zone you were in, all of that. Like, how'd you get there?
After I had made the My Heart album, I think we sold like maybe 200,000 to 300,000 records on that album. I felt like we could have did more. So I was I was like, you know what? On this new album, I just want to make it where every song could possibly be a single. That way they can't mess it up.
It was
You know what I'm
very
saying?
clear that
Yeah,
that was the intention.
Yeah, my intentions was, look, I want to make sure every song that is on that album it could potentially be a single. That way, whatever they put out, because I mean, like when you on a label, most of the time, like you don't really have a say so on what they're gonna put out.
Right.
They kind of get together collectively, and you may have a voice, but your voice is not that. You ain't spending your own money. Technically, you are, but you really ain't.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I mean, in the things I can control, which is the music,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my best foot forward and make sure that this album is all that and some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take me on it, man. First single, You Know What's Up.
Ooh, first single, man. The first single.
We can go down this whole album, bro. Like I'm telling you, like, which was the first single?
The first single off that album was Shorty Got Her Eyes on Me.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first single.
I didn't realize that was the first
That
single.
was the first single. The thing about it was, it didn't click. You know what I'm saying? It didn't click. But it's like a lot of people's favorite song now. You know what I'm saying? Like years later, it did. But in the beginning, it really didn't click, and so they immediately went to the next record, which was You Know What's Up.
Gotcha. Okay.
And You Know What's Up happened to be the last song we recorded on the album.
Really?
Yeah, it was. Eddie F and Darren Lighty, man, they put their foot in it.
That's is that your biggest record?
To date, yeah.
Huge record.
Yeah. Huge record, man. Number 1, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
So like, take me on. Let's go do the deep dive of where I want to be as an album. So, Shorty Got Eyes on Me, and now that you say it, I feel like I do remember that, but I don't feel like they put the budget behind it on radio. You know, not the same way.
Right.
When you did You Know What's Up, that was a bona fide kick through the door hit.
Man, you know what? When that record hit, I mean, from day one, man, everybody loved that record. You know what I'm saying? Like it just, I don't know why we didn't go with it first, but at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, all things happen for a reason.
Right.
And the setup for it was great, man. All the LaFace artists came out, supported, was in the video. You know what I'm saying? Like Left Eye jumped on the record. It just felt like a family atmosphere, and they wanted me to win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
And that's how that felt.
Yeah, that was crazy. So we just gonna go down from, and I'm looking at this, and I know all these songs like by heart. But so You Know What's Up, obviously Where I Want to Be, the title track of the album.
Yeah, man.
That was such a special song, and it meant so much to so many people because it's like, you know, a lot of us, specifically guys, you're in a long-term relationship or you're in a relationship and you build something, but you're really like, look, I'm young, I still got all this energy, I still have a, you know, wandering eye, or I'm still trying to explore myself in these ways. I love you, and I want you to know that, but I still want to be in these other places.
Right.
Is that pretty much the amalgamation of that song?
I mean, you explained it all. It's like, you know, like, and I was living that. That was my life. You know what I'm saying? I was with the mother of my kids, you know, and at the time, you know, before I was Donell Jones, you know what I'm saying? We spent a lot of time together. You know, we're young. Yeah. We were young. We got together. I was 17 and she was like 15, you know what I'm saying? So we were young. And, you know, all this fame started happening, you know, chicks that probably would never talk to me.
Sure.
Throwing themselves at me, you know what I'm saying? And not to mention, you know, guys throwing themselves at her too.
Of course.
So they're like, you know, with the guys from the hood that we from, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, I'm gonna try to bag her.
Because
you know
they want props because that's your girl.
Right, exactly. So those things started happening, but what made me really want to write the song, because I mean, all these feelings was happening, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put it on paper. I'm gonna put it in a song, and I got with Kyle West, and I played some chords for Kyle. Kyle took that thing to another level, man, and it felt really good. I didn't think it was gonna be a single. Yeah, it was just me like really pouring my heart out, and just you know, just put my feelings on wax.
It's such a special time when I think about the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, well, the album dropped in 99. I'm assuming you guys were recording it throughout the previous year. But when I think about like the stylistic, like you said, you didn't think Where I Want to Be was going to be a single, and it ended up being the type of record. It felt like a movie. You know what I'm saying? It felt like a movie soundtrack.
The album felt like a movie.
Absolutely.
Man. It just, you know, like when I really sat back and I didn't sequence the album. Eddie did.
Okay.
Eddie was like, yo, let me sit back, let me listen to these records, and I'm gonna put them in the order where I think they should go.
Okay.
He's really good at that, man.
Yeah.
He's really good at that. But when I sat back and I listened to it, it felt like a movie.
Yeah.
It felt like, because the songs were so it was like you could visualize a video without even seeing one.
Yeah.
That's how we tried to write the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That came across.
Yeah.
So after that, just in terms of the sequencing, we have You Seen Her?
Have You Seen Her, man? Another great.
Where did she
Yeah,
go? Bruh.
Written by Eric Williams.
Okay.
Oh man, from Black Street.
Yeah. Oh,
Man,
come on.
Man.
I didn't know he wrote that record.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Well, we worked on Shorty together, so I mean,
Gotcha.
so we had to do another record, and that happened to be the record.
Come on.
We was down here in Atlanta, man, and, you know, because I was living up in Jersey at the time.
Yeah.
But we came down here, man, and we worked with this guitar player named Tommy Martin.
Okay.
Incredible guitarist, and man, they came up with the track, man, and it was just banging.
Yeah.
It reminded me, it had a feel of like a R. Kelly type of feel.
Yeah.
But the way he was writing it and the way his melodies was, it was just self-explanatory. It was like a young brother from the hood.
Yeah.
That's got swag.
Exactly.
You
And
know
it
what I'm
had
saying?
had a rawness to
Yeah.
it. That's actually, like, when I think about the style of production of that time. So, you know, you started to hear that with the Tim and Bob sound.
Mm-hmm.
You started to hear that with a lot of producers. Of course, I know they produce a lot of stuff for R. Kelly. Guys we just mentioned, Jolly and Skinner, people like that was doing a lot of records for Joe.
Yeah.
And that sound had that deep bass, a cold guitar melody,
Yeah, man.
some nice chords,
Yeah.
and it just had that ride to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that reminds me when you say that Shorty, really the whole album had that feel, because you can listen to that, have your system in the car, and you can ride down the block and, you know, beat the block up, but you also got
it's beating,
and you
know what I'm
got
saying?
Shorty in the car,
Right.
you just feeling like you're
Yup.
moving something. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So do you have a favorite song from that album?
It's very hard, man. I mean, because there's so many of them I like. I mean, Where I Want to Be would definitely be one of the ones, because I mean how much it meant to me and what it felt like.
Yeah.
But yeah, Have You Seen Her? This Love.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Oh man. All Her Love Half the Time. Like
Yeah.
that album has a very special place in my heart, because I know what it took to make it.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what I felt like when I was making it. Like I was living those things. And so I was writing about what I was living.
Right.
Yeah.
So being such a, again, we crown you as one of the legendary R&B contributors.
Thank you.
You know, do you think about misses, like saying like, man, I wish I had done this, or do you have any regrets in your career across from a creative standpoint?
I wish I could have did a little bit more, but I mean, you know, when you on a label with Usher,
Yeah.
TLC, Pink,
Yeah.
Toni Braxton,
Yeah.
OutKast, I mean, you can only come out in every couple of years, because I mean, you know, like these are their top artists,
Right.
and there's only so many marketing dollars
Absolutely.
that they have, and so you got to strategically make sure that you position yourself to come out when it's your time. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to come out with any of those other artists, because you're gonna get lost.
Of course. What are your thoughts on the business now? Like R&B is not just R&B, but the music business has changed so much since then. Like, what are your thoughts on the whole overall scope?
I love the fact that, you know, independent artists are winning.
Yeah.
You know, as we should be in charge of our own intellectual property.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like, you know, being with a record company also has its advantages as well.
Of course.
Of course, you're spending somebody else's money.
Yep.
And they have the connection with radio and all those other places that you may not have.
Yeah.
Which you know, you got to spend money.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, if you don't have the capital, then, you know, you might get lost as well.
Yeah, I know years ago, and I put an album out, we went to radio, and we literally spent our cash, independent. We spent close to $80,000
Wow.
trying to get trying to break a record.
Yeah.
And, you know, we got some spins, but then there's like, okay, the song is doing well. We need another 50,000.
I ran into that. I ran into that one.
Yeah,
You know what
we
I'm
need
saying?
another 50,000. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, it's only been 5 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? And when you're dealing with radio, man, like it takes quite a bit of money to get in maybe the top 10. But then if you're trying to go
You know what I'm saying?
number one or top 5, like you gotta do
So
what you gotta
I
do.
know it's taboo. They like to say payola didn't exist, but we got to keep it 1,000. It's 2024.
Yeah.
It existed.
Yeah.
I'm sure it still exists in whatever
Oh yeah,
ways.
and all it still exists, man. I mean, there's no way that it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. First of all, you have to. There's a team of people that have to be paid.
Yeah.
To go out there and work your stuff, and then there's other people that need to be paid. It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So when you think about music that you've been, so since Where I Want to Be, you've dropped a bunch of albums that, obviously your fans love, and that you're still on the road touring these and performing these songs. The difference between how things were when you were on the label to independent, obviously from making a hit, but you already have hits. So if you didn't want to drop anything new, you're still gonna be able to tour, and just forever, because people love what you've already put out.
It's been a blessing.
Yeah. So how's that feeling in terms of the new music that you've been dropping, or the newer music rather, that is independent? It's not having the same reach that the old songs have had. I mean, the old albums may have had, but again, you have legendary catalog that keeps you on the road. Like, are you really still trying to introduce new music? Do you still love what you're doing?
Oh yeah, man. I'm always doing new music. I mean, quite naturally, again, when you don't have that system, it's hard to reach those people. But your hardcore fans are always going to be there,
100,
no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So, and then again, I've been number one. I've been at the top. You know what I'm saying? Do I aspire to be back there? Of course, but it's not a I'm okay where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because I've done it. And I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because I actually love the art of music.
Yeah.
And so whether it becomes number one or wherever it goes, as long as it touches people the way that I'm trying to portray.
So I think about some of the songs off the Where I Want to Be album, and I think about there's a lot of newer artists sampling some of these vibes. Shout out to Blast. I know he used he actually used probably 3 or 4 of the songs off that album, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of how he flipped them.
Yeah.
How does that feel to have the new generation using those using your vibes?
Amazing, man. Amazing. I mean, we took a lot of people's stuff in the 90s, so
Yeah.
I mean, and they weren't too happy about it back then.
Of course,
though.
yeah.
But I mean, I love it because to me, it's like the song comes out again.
Yeah.
Like it's a fresh new start. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And as a songwriter, it's beautiful. I'll give you this. I wrote and produced 702's "Get It Together."
I think I did know that. That's awesome.
And DJ Mustard and Roddy Ricch sampled it,
Nice.
and they sold 5 million singles off of that.
Come on.
So it's like I made more money off of it when it came
20
out
years
now
later, yeah.
than I did when it came out
Come on.
back then. So it's like, I mean, I'll never be mad at sampling. Sample all my man.
Come on.
Sample
come on.
everything. You know what I'm
So
saying?
let's talk about publishing. So
Yeah.
like, because you're a songwriter, are you one that has a story that says, man, I got screwed up. I never saw a publishing check. I never got this. Are you one that had that story, or did you have some of that business in order?
I mean, we all meet people that take advantage of.
Right.
But I don't have a story like that, man. I mean, the contracts I signed them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we all got to go through a struggle
Yeah.
to get where we want to be.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I'm very happy with my career. I was around some great people, man, that took care of me. And so I don't have that type of story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like not that kind of story. And I know some people have horror stories, but
Yeah.
that's not mine.
And it comes with the territory. I mean,
Yeah.
we talk a lot about the heartbreak that the industry, if you're going to be in this industry, you're going to get your heart broken at some point.
For sure.
Can you tell us any stories about how, you had your heart broken from the business, or just even in your life, and how you overcame it?
Oh, for sure. Just being on LaFace Records, you know what I'm saying? Being on LaFace Records, amazing company, man. I think like they were the new Motown. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But again, being on the label that had so many artists, I mean, like there were times that I wanted to come out with an album, but I couldn't because again, you know, like if Usher's coming out,
all the budget's going that way.
It's gonna go that way. You know what I'm saying? And then not to mention, you know, if he's coming out, the big company is still Arista.
Yep.
So Arista may have somebody coming out too. You know what I'm saying? So you can't compete. So that was a little heartbreaking, but again, it's part of the business. You gotta, you know, you gotta be patient.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned through the music business as well. Just being patient, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I see Keith Sweat mentioned on Sway in the Morning that he's been managing himself for the past 20 years. He's been handling his, you know, he's like, I'm tired of giving people my money, blah, blah, blah. Are you self-managed now? Like, where are you with that? Or do you have a team that, how do you structure that?
I don't have a manager. I have a team. I have a business partner that we rock together. In today's scheme of things, I really don't feel like you really need a manager.
Yeah.
As long as you got proper people in place to, you know, to make sure your career is going the way you want it to go. That's how I feel.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I noticed, you're always rocking the hats.
Oh, for sure.
So this is like, you know, your swag, Kango hats. I remember, you know, again, back on the My Heart album, that's when we first introduced you wearing the fedoras and all that. Like, where's that come from? Is that a signature to something?
You know what, man? I've been rocking hats, man, since I was a kid, man, from Chicago. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, but the hat can come off. You know, we don't. You know, we
Yeah.
all good without it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a Chicago thing. You know.
Yeah.
You know, back in the days, you know, everybody used to wear the little hats and.
Yeah. I guess I'm asking it because from a fashion standpoint, you know, back in the day, R&B artists presented a certain way.
For sure.
You know, it was always swag. It made, you know, certain guys, like I looked at that and I'm like, man, I want to be smooth like these cats.
Yeah, man.
These days, you know, it's a whole
It's
nother,
a little different. You know,
nother
it's a little different. I mean, the swag has changed.
Yeah.
You know, again, like I feel like, you know, most of the R&B guys now want to be rappers.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So you can't tell them apart. You know what I'm saying? And there's no knock against anybody. That's just the nature of where we are as a society right now.
Yeah.
That's all.
Are you mentoring any new artists in the game?
Man, I love my little brother Jacquees, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like every time we get a chance to talk, man, we talk. You know, he let me know what's going on in his life.
Yeah.
Vice versa. And I just want to see him do well.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what's up. We want to get Jacquees on the show because he's definitely been the last, I don't know, 7-8 years. He's been like really
real good dude, man.
pumping out some
Real
hot
good
music.
brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. So we're gonna do a little hot take.
Okay.
So, well, first of all, are you listening to any of the new artists? We talked about some of them sampling your music. Are you listening to any new artists? And if you are, who are they?
I love her. I love her.
Tough.
I love Ella May, Jacquees.
Yeah.
You just named Eric Bellinger.
Eric Bellinger.
Oh, man, amazing, brother.
Yes,
Amazing.
Absolutely.
The normal ones, Chris Brown.
Yep, of course.
You know, Usher just put out a dope album.
Of course.
But it's so many artists out here, man, that are doing their thing. Damn, what's her name, man? Oh man, I love her too. Oh man.
She's from here, or
She got a song called Body.
is it Chloe?
Summer Walker.
Oh, Summer Walker,
man.
Oh man.
SZA.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just so many great artists, man, that they holding it down.
No question. No question. I feel like in the industry right now, there's a lot of focus on the female R&B artists, not quite as much on the male R&B artists. Although, and I'm not talking about the legends like the Ushers of the world. I'm talking like a lot of the newer artists, and there's a lot of fantastic male R&B artists that are out that aren't getting the spotlight the way a lot of the female artists are.
Correct.
It's almost flipped. Like back in the 90s, not saying you didn't have many females, but you had way more male artists, solo male artists,
For sure.
than you did females that was actually getting that highlight.
For sure.
Do you have any thoughts on, you know, from I guess in terms of how or why that may be happening in this day and time?
I just think that the females is killing it, man. Like even on the rap side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of female rappers back then, we didn't have a lot of them. But now you have a lot of, I just think the females are really killing it. And not to mention, they're not scared to be vulnerable. I think most of the men that's out right now, everybody want to be a thug. Everybody want to, you know, like everything is panty drop. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is I got a pistol. I'll knock you out. Like everything is based on I wouldn't say negative, but just trying to be too gangster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think back then we talked more about like love and relationship type stuff. And regardless of people hate it or not, man, I mean, women still love love.
That's right.
They still want to be loved.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And we ain't talking about that.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic point. So, speaking of that, I went to Lucky Day. I went to his concert a couple weeks ago, and people would think I'm on his team. I don't know the brother, but he is amazing.
Wow. Okay.
And his album, he has a new album called Algorithm that's out right now. That album, it's vulnerable. I mean,
Wow.
it's some fun music and some really exciting music on it, but he has that vulnerability. I do agree. I don't hear enough of that. I can give a shout out to Kenyon Dixon. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He, one thing about him, he's making albums. Like his most recent project he just dropped is called, I think it's for the 99 and the 2000 or something like that.
Right.
And the last project he dropped, he reached out and got RL from Next on his record as a 2000s song, and it's an amazing record. He reached out and kind of revisited that sound. So with this new project, that's what he's doing, and his music is vulnerable. His voice is amazing. His arrangements are cool. So I do agree. You don't hear enough male R&B artists that's showing vulnerability. Yeah. I think that's important.
I think that's what's missing.
Yeah. So do you have a top 5 R&B song list?
Woo.
I know that's so tough.
Man, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Michael Jackson, "Lady of My Life."
Come on.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Come on.
TKO.
Come on. Ooh. Yeah.
Alicia Myers, "If You Play Your Cards Right."
You digging deep.
Damn, man, there's so many of them though.
Yeah.
Surface, "Only You."
Come on.
And damn, it's this hard, but
Yeah, it's difficult to
the
do.
Ozzy Brothers, "At Your Best."
Come on. Every time I ask that question, I already know I'm putting you against the wall because I can't even answer. If you ask me that question every day, I may give you a different 5.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of these records, but honestly, man, those are some really dope records. But there's so many more, man. There's so many more.
What's the last song that inspired you?
You know what? I listen to Dusty's. Like if I'm gonna go and record an album, I'll go and listen to my old records.
Yeah.
And then I'll listen to nothing but old music. Those people I named, like the Ozzy Brothers.
Yeah.
Surface. I listen to Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Just a lot of the great artists, because I'm trying to get my mind in a state where it's just it's melody.
Yeah.
It's musicality. Just those things that mean a lot to me.
Yeah. Tap into the frequency that those guys are on.
Yes.
A lot of music, reflects the time or reflects obviously your experiences. And I think, in this, I don't want to sound like an old person, but in this watered down society where we have so much information, right? It's harder, I guess, I would think, for some of these artists to be vulnerable, to express themselves in ways because so many people have access to them. Now if you're showing vulnerability, now you can be attacked.
Right.
I think that just made me, think of that.
It's a good point, though. It's a good point.
Yeah. So since you were in a group at one time, can you give us like the top R&B male groups? Now I want to preface this. In the 90s, and we were talking about this earlier today. In the 90s, it was really R&B group dominated.
Oh, for sure, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, I think there's a lot of definitely solo artists, but most solo artists really didn't really go crazy, except a couple, into the early 2000s. When you think about it, even the 90s artists, right?
Yeah.
Like even Where I Want to Be was 99. That took you into the 2000s, killing. You think about Jodeci, you think about Boyz II Men, 112. I mean, New Edition came in the 80s, but the list goes on. What's your top 5 R&B male groups?
Period?
Period.
Okay. In order or
it don't matter. It don't matter.
Oh, for sure, Jodeci.
Oh yeah.
Boyz II Men.
Yeah.
Drew Hill.
Yeah.
Definitely New Edition.
Of course.
And Guy.
Come on.
Yeah.
I don't hear Guy as often when I ask that question.
I mean, the reason I say Guy is because
they were
I mean,
amazing.
they only had like one album or something like that.
1 or 2 albums.
But them 2 records on there, A Piece of My Love and Goodbye Love.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Piece of My Love is out of here.
Man, what?
Yeah.
Just them 2 records alone.
I mean, Teddy Riley
and you got and Blackstreet. You know, you
Black,
got to give it to Blackstreet.
Oh yeah, Blackstreet was cold.
Levert.
Come on.
You know.
Come on.
I can keep going though.
Yeah. I got you. It's very difficult to narrow it down to just 5. And I know we always do that. We compare it to sports when we do that, but I'm about to start shaking that up because I'm like, you know what? It's just too easy. Well, I'm sorry, it's too hard to say it's gonna be this, but I could make it a little bit easier if you can break it down to maybe eras.
Right.
You know what I'm
saying? I'm trying to think because you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to and some of these names don't come out.
Yeah.
But those are my favorite though, for sure.
Come on.
For sure.
So in terms of like, so what's coming up next for you? Like you have obviously you're still touring, you're still making music. What's coming up next?
I'm about to get back in and record another album. My last album was called Free. Okay. We did it at the beginning of the pandemic and we gave it away for free.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, people going through a lot of things and I just wanted to do something for the fans. This next album is going to be called Elevate and just want to have fun, man. Just have fun. You know, I feel like we don't dance no more. You know what I'm saying? Everybody chilling, mean mugging each other. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just want to have fun again with music. You know, just have fun and be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying?
There was a record you did on that album. I was looking for it, Karma.
Karma, man.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah. Well, that was I took that from the Stylistics.
Come on.
You know, that was their beat. I just remade it and put some new lyrics on top of it.
Yeah.
But man, that record came to me. Man, I was asleep and I was dreaming about the record.
Come on.
And I just immediately woke up and I went downstairs in my basement and I just started working on that track, man. And the words just came to me, man. So I mean, that's one of those things that like I feel like I'm the antenna and I just get the signal.
Just receive it.
Yeah, just receive it. So yeah. And a lot of records are like that for me.
So what's your writing process? So obviously, basically these songs are just being deposited, you feel, and you play keys. So what other instruments do you play?
Just keys.
Just keys.
Yep.
Okay, so you was fronting on the guitar.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
You was fronting.
Yeah, I was fronting. I did not play the guitar.
Man, I could have sworn
the album had so
many guitar on it. Yeah.
That it was in the studio and they was like, yo, put a guitar in his hand, man. Like this, because the record sounds like a guitar.
Dude,
bro, so
see, you're breaking my heart because this is the reason I even picked up the guitar. It's one of the reasons, I swear to you.
Wow, that's funny.
It's one of the reasons I play the guitar. It was you, Brian McKnight, and Joe.
Yeah, Joe is dope, man.
Joe's nice on guitar.
Oh man,
yeah. It was the 3 of you guys. Yeah. I saw singing and playing guitar.
Yeah.
Of course, Babyface.
I wish I could play the guitar, man.
Come on, man. I done lost it. I probably lost a bet from. I said, man, Donell be killing on guitar.
No, man. I've always hired great guitar players. I've had Sheldon, Goody. I've also had Petaway.
Okay.
Who's played guitar for me, Tommy Martin.
Okay, yeah, I know Tommy Martin.
So yeah, I mean Charles Petaway. I'm sorry, I'll give his whole name.
Gotcha.
Tommy Martin, and I mean I've always had great guitarists around me that will articulate what I heard.
What you heard
in my head. Yeah.
I got you. Okay. Got you. I literally that's funny to me because one of my cousins he is also one of your biggest fans, and we both picked up guitar.
Wow.
During around that time, listening to that album.
Wow, that's dope.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Well, it's just when I think about all these, the stories from the the 90s to the 2000s. Now this is you're 30 years in the game.
Yeah, man.
Is it
close? I'm close.
Close?
I'm close. I don't know. I got in 94. So is that 30?
2024, bro.
Damn, man, it's 30. Oh wow!
Hey, it's a new day. It's a new
I guess
day.
it is 30.
Yeah, 30 years.
Wow.
I just threw it out there, but I was
man,
I was actually trying to round it up for you. I'm like,
wow, man. You know what? Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But so this is why I call you a legend. This is why I say this is legendary because you obviously have given us legendary music, 11 legendary albums that's impacted R&B heads. See, a lot of times, if I had that conversation with people who aren't R&B heads, they don't really know. Like you mentioned, My Heart only sold 300,000. I probably bought 2 of those. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because I know I scratched the CD up and had to go buy it again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's one,
Yeah.
you know, it's one of them joints. So just throughout the career, you've made such an impact on a lot of R&B fans and, of course, a lot of R&B musicians or just musicians across the board, man. We appreciate your contribution
Oh, for sure.
to the culture, bro. So this is an ongoing conversation. Listen, I have Donell Jones in the building. Can we talk R&B? Peace, love.
Can we talk? Oh, can we talk?
Can we talk?